We from Brooklyn, we're scrapping, it's part of life. So we happen to be the type of journalists to start a fight. I was raised in Greece since I was in the precinct, but I beat the case with my sweet pea defense. You tweaking if you think you beating us. If I have to, I'ma put on Margarito's gloves. I'm in the bar plays like I own it. What you expected? The way I seized the moment, they thought I was epileptic. The fight game can't survive without me. I throw shots that make fighters spit out their mouthpiece. Never days off, only days on. I represent the hood like I'm Trayvon. These moments in boxing are so proper, like when Floyd told Oscar he beat his whole roster. It's our action that speaks the loudest. Though we the sweet scientists, they ain't nothing sweet about us.
It's your boy Ak.
And this is Barak, the boxing bully.
We are the sweet scientists, and this is 3 rounds with Ak and Barak. First round, none other than Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua. What else there to talk about?
Nothing. We got $50 million on the table. You figure it's a done deal. It's easy. That's what he wanted.
No, but Eddie Hearn said no. The devil's in the details, right?
Absolutely.
So they were sending over $50 million for them to agree, but with no details, no terms. So,
right.
But they got past that part, right?
Right. But then the most important detail was, got to fight in the USA.
Nah.
That's Deontay Wilder's camp.
Well, both parties have legitimate arguments on why the fight should be in their hometown. Let's be honest. Anthony Joshua, he has put 90,000, 70,000, a lot of butts and seats in the UK. He's a huge, huge star in the UK, so I can see why he would want that fight to be there. He's a huge draw there.
That's cool. I appreciate people that want to, you know, cater to their audience, but that's like saying your audience is not here in America. I say the most money could be made in Vegas. Why not go to Vegas? Maximize this money.
Yeah, I agree with you. And as far as like Vegas generating a lot of revenue all around the city, it'll be huge. I think the fights, I agree with what you said earlier. It's not always about the butts and seats. First of all, the pay-per-view numbers have to be crazy, and anywhere those two fight, the pay-per-view numbers will be crazy. But if you add 40, 50 casinos in one city and thousands of rooms.
That sounds like $1 billion weekend to me.
Indeed. So I wouldn't mind. I'd rather take a 5-hour flight to Las Vegas to be a part of that fight at the T-Mobile Arena than in the UK, but I do respect.
But if it's in the UK, we'll be there too.
Exactly. For those who waiting on Triple G and Canelo rematch, it might not happen. And here's the details. Canelo's camp are not willing to change the terms of the agreement, which was 60-40.
Was it 60-40? I don't even know what the terms are.
It just wasn't 50-50.
We just know they don't want 50-50.
Right, and Triple G and his team, Tom Loeffler and Abel Sanchez, that whole camp, they're saying because of the small traces of computer roll in Canelo's system, which then tested negative in a hair follicle test, they feel like at this point, they should split the purse 50-50. And I totally disagree with that, because any way you slice it, if those guys move their separate ways, Canelo will make more money than Triple G, so he doesn't need him as much as he needs Canelo, in my opinion.
My opinion is they're both making millions separate anyway. Come together, you're gonna capitalize and make the most and maximize it. So
True.
If you need each other to make the most, then fight. And make it 50-50. When you get caught with something, I think you're gonna have to humble yourself.
Right, but
you're the draw. You're Canelo.
It's a business.
You're the beautiful star.
It's a business.
But when you get caught doing something wrong, even if it was a mistake,
he paid the price. 6-month suspension. He's cleared to fight in September. All of that, it's done. And
the reason why they had to stop it is because they were losing sales. They were losing sales because when you get caught doing something wrong, you are the A side, but now you're more like an A-. Right. Well, you lose fans that way.
I agree with you.
50-50 now.
That could be the case. There's no way in hell that Canelo Alvarez and Oscar De La Hoya are going to agree to a 50-50 split, because Canelo is still the big draw, period.
That I agree with.
Done.
Round 3. This one's a little bit more personal. He's a friend to the room. It's AB.
Indeed.
Adrian Broner.
I'm not particularly happy with what he recently did, which was put out the offer that Eddie Hearn sent to him privately with a non-disclosure contract. Now I feel like he's burning the bridge here. Now on that contract, the terms are for 3 fights, roughly a little over $6 million. First fight $2 million, second fight 2.2, third fight $2.5 million, which on paper is more than what Adrian Broner has been getting paid in his last few fights without Heyman. But we all know, I guess some of us know that those numbers that are on paper are not as much.
Right, it doesn't necessarily reflect what goes into the bank account.
Right, what check they're giving at the end of the
Even
night.
AB tweeted, I wish I could show you guys how much I make.
Right.
So obviously he's happy with what he's making, and he
Allegedly.
doesn't want to be tied down to any kind of promotional company.
Right, indeed.
But my problem is, don't make it public.
It's just ignorant, and the reason, and I say that with all due respect, AB's my dude, but the truth is, you're ruining that gentleman's negotiations with other fighters. You're putting out what he offered you. Now other guys have leverage. They can go to Eddie and say, hey, you offered me this much, but you offered AB this much, and then there's a negotiation war going on. So that could potentially ruin a lot of business and a lot of potential negotiations with other fighters, and that's why that should have never happened.
And it's like when you turn down the Rock Nation, now you give and you put it public of how much they offer you. Now you leave room for people to say, oh, well, you ain't making that now. You leave room for them to clown you when you're not making that much. Now I say keep all the money under the table.
Now look, AB's antics and his approach has been successful, with his promotion. He's been able to promote himself without a big promotional company.
Definitely a smart guy
because he's
when it comes to that.
outspoken. So I mean, not to say that these outbursts don't work. A lot of times that they do. I
think it's just him. I think that's just what he does. That's just how he is.
Yeah, right.
He's as honest as you come.
But don't get sued, AB.
He don't care. He don't care about the backlash.
Bonus round. We have to talk about Drake and Pusha T.
There's no closure without this.
No, not at all. Now the fight started. It's been
what round are we on? This is like we're going into the third round.
Well, yeah, we're going into the fourth round. I believe that Pusha T might have put something out in his album, so that's why Drake put out his
and that's round
freestyle.
One?
That was round two. Drake's response to the record on his album, and now round three. Pusha T puts out this record that gets personal, gets ugly. You're talking about supposedly, allegedly having a child.
Son. Right. Wow.
Now, in my opinion, I'll give you the take of, I'll give you my version of how the fight went. I think Drake has more style, good foot movement, a little bit of Lomachenko in him. So that first round was skilled punching, not power punching, but I think he won that round easily. He looked great in that fight. I think Pusha T came back with some hard blows, hard body shots.
I think he went a little low, and that's why it hurts so much, and that's why he's gotten so much momentum.
That's why he's been in the corner.
You're not even a good father, and then you talk about your own father.
Whoa,
that's kind of low. You know what I'm saying?
Lower than Drake just mentioning his fiance, just for metaphorically sound good on the record.
Right.
But I feel like Drake is in the corner a little too long. The bell is ringing. It's time to get back in the ring. So is he getting good instructions from his people in the studio to look good in this next round?
The question is, how long is this going to go, and who's going to win the war?
Well, I tell you this, when it's all said and done and when it goes to the scorecards, I think the major star will get the decision, and that is Drake. Great effort by Pusha T, and I can't wait to see Drake's response.